had one of those good parenting moments today, I think. One of those moments where, because you're aware and kind of looking and questioning and trying to be cognizant of things, you identify blind spots. You identify these things where perhaps you may have taught a certain lesson a certain way or just assumed it was okay to approach things a certain way, but you question it and maybe you find something better. And maybe you teach your son a lesson that you wouldn't otherwise have that serves him really well throughout his life. And I think this was one of those instances today. Situation was we went out for a walk, and we went to this area, which is kind of like this dirt hilly area that he likes to go to and kind of just play around because there's lots of cool sticks and stuff. And we were playing over there, and we were bundled up because it's winter time here in New York. And he wanted to kind of play on one of the hills and dig around a little bit. And he asked me if he could do that. And my first inclination was like, no, that's a terrible idea. Like, you're going to get dirty. You're going to get dirt all over you. You got your gloves on. You got your jacket on that you usually wear to school. You have sneakers on that are going to get dirty. Like, everything's going to get dirty. So that seems like a bad idea. Like, you shouldn't do it. And that's frankly the way I've thought most of my life without much thought of it. And I'm sure it was taught to me to some extent. And it's not illogical. Like, it's not bad advice. It's a pretty big burden to get that dirty, right? You're going to be dirty in the moment. When you get home, you're going to have to take a shower. You're going to have to wash all your stuff. Some of that stuff isn't really meant to be washed in the washing machine. And you see it, right? The catastrophizing starts to kick in and, you go down that path. But as I said, you step back and you question yourself a little bit. You say, like, let's kind of look at the math, the full math behind this. Let's make sure we have the full picture, not just a perspective. And yeah, that's true. There is definitely some negative to this, to playing in the dirt. But why am I foregoing the positive? Why am I not even considering the positive in this situation? Not to be dramatic about it, but he gets to have fun playing in the dirt. He gets to explore a little bit. It's less time he's going to spend, watching TV or doing something else, but he's actually literally, like, he was trying to dig a hole and he was trying to find different sticks and he was digging for certain types of rocks and he had a whole game going. He was using his imagination, all really good things that I potentially was going to squash and say, no, don't do any of that. Because you're going to get dirty and I don't want to deal with that hassle and you shouldn't want to deal with that hassle. Like, unless it's just going to bring you pleasure, if there's any negative that comes with it, don't do it. Now, I don't know, right? We never know when we teach our kids what lessons they hear and what messages they pick up, right? You try and be consistent, you try and be direct on certain things, but this was an opportunity. This was an opportunity where maybe what he takes away from this situation is like, oh, we don't want to get messy. I don't want my gloves dirty. That's a bad thing. Keep it all really clean. And just, put aside things that I might enjoy or find interesting or be curious about or want to learn about because it might get messy and I don't want that. And when I put it in those terms, the math couldn't be more clear. Get those gloves dirty. Go get messy. Go be curious. Go learn. Use your imagination. That's much more important. And if you think about it, I mean, of course it is. Of course, the opportunity to play outside and to learn and do all those things and to be a kid is so much more important and so much more valuable than the negative of having to put some stuff in the washing machine and maybe put it in separate cycles and dry it separately, right? Whatever the hassle is that comes with it. Or maybe the gloves even get ruined and we buy new gloves, right? The point is, be thoughtful, obviously. You got to think through these things, but I was not being thoughtful. I was just assuming a way I'd always done it. Don't get your gloves dirty. Don't become a mess. That's a burden. That's a hassle. And that is certainly not a message I want to teach my son, or it's not anything I want to live either. So one of those simple, small moments that if you're aware enough, I think you could pick up, and hopefully it makes for a better life for my son and maybe even for myself.